Hey there, we're reviewing The Last of Us. Zach beat it.
I did. Pretty excited when you just met. We got a guest star back here.
Yeah, you want to do that? We have
Matthew Jinsu Kwan.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
So as you know, he reviewed he gave us his first impressions, but now we're going to see how those may or may not have changed
In the time that it took me to beat it.
So Zach, I remember one thing that you mentioned to me was that when you were giving your first impression, you said that you were like 50 or 60% done, but then later you told me that that was actually wrong.
No, yeah, I must have looked at the wrong little counter percentage thing. So it must have been of that chapter because I was nowhere near beating the game by then. So, like I said, that was my bad. That was just a first impressions. Not a very accurate one at that either.
What was your first impression?
It was my first impression. So I mean, that's what I thought at first, and it was mildly accurate because I did read, and for how far I was in the game, most people had that impression as well. So I wasn't the only one. But anyways, definitely, I definitely did a 180 from my last video impression. It's an amazing game.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna come out and say that right now.
Did some stuff get improved, like the gunfire and
deeper,
stuff,
the plot gets better, just everything gets better. I mean, the gameplay doesn't really change, but by the time you pass that little hump that it has, where it's kind of turns into Snoresville a little bit. Once you pass that hump, it definitely turns around, and you learn how to play the game. You learn how to take down certain enemies. That was one of my frustrations before. Was they put too many enemies that are one-hit killers in the air in a small confined area.
Changes?
No, it doesn't change. You just learn how to tackle them. So every time you encounter a scenario like that, you're like, all right, well, I better save a Molotov cocktail for a group of clickers, and then you throw a bottle, and then you just throw the Molotov cocktail when they go to it. So then you just kind of tackle it that way.
What's the story even about?
So basically, it's about this guy named Joel. It's about two characters, Joel and Ellie. They're in the apocalypse. They get thrown together through basically unfortunate events, and he has to basically this one woman says, hey, Ellie basically is immune to the virus. And he doesn't believe it, but then, through the next couple hours of you getting introduced to her, he's like, okay, I get it, she's probably immune. And they're like, you need to get her out of the city so that way she's safe, and get her to this resistance group called the Fireflies, who are going to take her blood or something and make it into an antidote, basically, for the rest of basically revive the human race in a way. So that's pretty much the gist. You're just trying to survive long enough to get her to the Fireflies, and then you're going to just go do your own thing. And of course, character evolution throughout the whole thing. They don't like each other at first.
It's got good character.
Yeah, they got fantastic characters. They don't like each other at first, then obviously they grow together, and they start caring for each other in certain ways and stuff like that. People said that they were disappointed with the ending. I wasn't. Honestly, I was expecting it to be really, 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 really depressing, because the whole vibe when you're playing the game, you kind of, especially with the cues of the music they play in certain areas and just how scenes are set up and how you play them, and just especially with that after that 20-minute intro, that kind of anything can happen to any character. So you're expecting just anything bad to happen, and I was expecting that the whole way, especially from 80% of the game completed to the very the last 20% of the game. I was just expecting all the main characters to just for it to be horrible,
all of them to die
and so there's certain characters make certain decisions, certain main characters make certain decisions at the end, and I finally went through and read the spoiler boards last night after I beat it, and I disagree with everyone's opinion. Everyone was saying, oh, this main character shouldn't have done this, that whole yada 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 thing, and they were saying how they thought the game would have been better. Honestly, I thought it was fine. I actually liked the way it turned out, because I feel like if the game had turned out how people wanted it to turn out, it would have been really depressing. It would have been that ending that I thought it was going to be, and it wasn't that, and so it kind of surprised me in a way. Gameplay didn't really change. I do understand people's frustrations on the gameplay being not the best gameplay. Sure, it's not the best gameplay.
What's the gameplay
like? Some people think it's kind of clunky.
Well, what do you think?
And the weapon sway does throw you off, even though you can fix it later on in the game. You basically have perks, I guess you could say. You can upgrade things about your person, like the distance that he listens. It's called listening. It kind of reminds me of Batman Arkham Asylum. You know, when you can like see enemies through walls and stuff. You can listen, range, you can adjust that. You can adjust a whole bunch of stuff on your guy. But other than that, I got past that quick. After I got past, basically when I did my first impressions, there was a whole nother like 70% of the game. I was only like 30% through. The multiplayer, it's forgettable. I mean,
yeah, what do you do in the
multiplayer? Some people really like it. I didn't care for it. I mean, honestly, I tried to make myself play it for about probably 6-7 hours total. I couldn't pick it up past that. I mean, there's a lot of depth to it that I still probably couldn't explain to you guys. There's like, you have people that you're taking care of. There's weeks that you're going by. There's like, they try to add a plot to it, like you're a survivor in the multiplayer. And depending on which regime you pick, there's 2 of them. You know, you have people to take care of, and so each match you play, it's best to get supplies so you can take care of your people, and you can fail at that. I know that much. I don't know the repercussions of everything. Like I said, I only played 6 hours, and I just didn't really care. I mean, I boiled it down to a simple meat and potatoes. There's hardcore team deathmatch, and then there's team deathmatch. And in the hardcore, you die, you have 1 life. And in the team deathmatch one, you have as many lives as it takes to win whatever their scores. I just didn't care for it. I mean,
How long is the match?
The matches are really long. That was kind of another thing. I mean, it's kind of good that they're long, and then it's also kind of not good that they're long because it's kind of like Battlefield where they're really slow. It's definitely unique. I'll give it that. I mean, I wasn't into it, but it's not like, I don't necessarily feel like they just added it on, you know, because they felt like they needed to.
You felt like they took time to.
Yeah, they took time and they made it pretty different. Original, kind of. I mean, like I said, I boiled it down to just hardcore and team deathmatch, but I mean, it is more than that. But to me, I was like, it's just fucking team deathmatch.
It's different.
But they had other aspects to it, and you can't just go around spraying people because you only get like 2 bullets from the start, and you have to go around the levels, which are fairly big, and get little like their little toolboxes, and you open them up and you get different supplies, and you have to like make stuff. So it's very much like the campaign in multiplayer. They don't just give you like 50 bullets and say, hey, here you go, Call of Duty, have fun.
Yeah.
You have to like sit there and take your time. And you can buy armor and different weapons in-game, but you can't really customize your loadout as much. You only get a couple weapons for your loadout. So you can't like equip a really good assault rifle from the get-go. You have to earn it. You have to kill people, get points, and buy it in-game. So it's got some cool stuff going for it. I didn't really like that.
In each match?
Yeah, in each match. I didn't really like that at first, and you can buy ammo too, all within a menu. You pretty much buy everything in game, depending on how good you do and healing. God, an annoying thing about multiplayer that tore me out of it: you get downed when you get shot, unless you get exploded or shot with like usually a shotgun is an instant kill. But otherwise, you get downed. Nobody heals in that game. Oh my God, that's all the boards are talking about right now. Heal me! Everyone just stands there. They're like,
I don't know.
I can't heal him, man. As soon as I try and heal him, a guy's gonna come out and kill me. They're either thinking that or they're just assholes and they're just like, no, I'm not gonna heal you.
I'm an asshole.
Yeah, dude, and I'll sit there and I'll crawl to people, and they're just like, nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to heal you, bro. And I'm like, dude, heal me! We could win if you heal me! I can see my radar. There's nobody around. Heal me. But yeah, so that's really annoying. I'm not going to waste my time on a multiplayer. Who cares? But anyway, I loved it. It was awesome. I would have paid $80 for it just for single player. I don't care about the multiplayer. I'm in it to win it, man.
To win it.
Game over.
Yeah, right? Game over, bro. Game over. No, dude, it's awesome. I love it. I would suggest anyone buy it, honestly. I can see all sorts of people playing it. You put it on easy, and I can see it being obtainable, and you just for the cinematic value alone, even a Chad Grove could play it.
Yeah.
So graphics are like really high.
And the graphics are really, really good. I like the graphics are fantastic. People are saying, "Oh, it's not that good. It's getting overhyped." I mean, I would challenge an Xbox or even a PS3 user to find a better graphic game. I mean, there are some that are up rivaling it, if not maybe a little better. Like maybe a Killzone would be, I guess, a little bit better. Drake's is right there with it, you know. There's some glitches, but I mean, like some clipping and stuff like that, and some little odd things that are kind of clunky, but literally they're few and far between, and even with those glitches, it's still almost a perfect game.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to be an asshole and give it a perfect 10 because in my mind, no game is a 10. That's ridiculous. A 10 is ridiculous. So I think I'm going to go with like a 9.9 or something.
A 9.9.
I'm going to go with like a 9.95, 9.99999. No, I'm going to go with a 9.5 actually. Totally fantastic. Would have paid like $100 for it if I would have known it would have been like that. Single player only is worth it for me. If you like any sort of multiplayer, it's concreting the reason for you to buy it even more. So buy it. I mean, honestly, anyone. And I said in my previous thing, hey, wait for it to be $40. If you found it for $40, get it. I mean, like I said, even more of a reason. But $60 is more than definitely worth it. You're gonna get your plays worth. I already want to go back. I hardly ever want to replay games, and I already want to go back and play it on normal again so I can get New Game Plus. And I kind of want to try survival mode to see what all the hype's about for that one. So yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, whatever. Do whatever you want.
Sucks.
But buy Last of Us. Matthew Kwan.
What you want? What you want? Come on. What you want? What you want? Come on. What you want? Come on.
So it's kind of like Drake's in a way. How
I was just entertained.
You play to get to the next cutscene.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is funny because a lot of people complain about the cutscenes being long and all that stuff, but it's so cinematic and so good.
Is it?
But anyways,
is it as annoying as